Hello everyone, Bruce here. So I was wanting to pick up a medium size or smaller affordable air compressor for the garage or for the shop, and I settled on this MCGRAW brand. This came from Harbor Freight, labeled MCGRAW 8-gallon oil-free portable air compressor. I got a pretty good deal on it using a Black Friday coupon. In this video I'm going to go through and just pull the parts out of the box. There's not a lot involved here and there's almost no assembly. Just a couple things you have to do to put one of these together. I'll show you how I went about it. Then it's got a break-in period, and I'll give you some details on that. And overall, what I think of the air compressor as it came from Harbor Freight. So here's all the parts laid out. It only comes with 2 packages, a couple of bolts, nuts, and washers for the wheels, and then 2 finger nuts for installing the handle. So here's a look at the manual, and as you can see there's only 2 steps for the assembly, and then it's got 8 steps there for the break-in, which is really simple. So we'll go through and I'll install the wheels and then the handle, and we'll show you what the break-in process is all about. So you've got 2 bolts, a sleeve, washers, and a nut set up that come with it. Just take the nut off of there and a washer, and then that'll slip into the front side of the wheel. Just make sure you're looking at the correct side. One has a little bit of a protrusion there and the other side is kind of sunk in. So that's the side that you want to put the bolt into. And then you've got the nut and the washer that'll go on the back side of that bolt once it's installed on the air compressor frame. And then of course you just repeat that for the other wheel, and it'll be ready to go on the machine as well. And then I just laid out a couple of rags so I could lay the machine over and get to the wheel mounts without scratching up the machine. And I used a number 18 millimeter metric socket and a crescent wrench to hold the nut, and just slip the wheel with the bolt through the hole, put the washer and the nut on the back side, and then I held it with the crescent wrench while I tightened the bolt with the 18 millimeter socket. Then it was just a matter of repeating that exact same process for the other side, and the wheels were completed. Now, mounting the handle was really simple. Just slip it into the 2 holes on the front of the machine, and you'll see where the threaded portion is for the 2 wing nuts. And then it was just as simple as putting each wing nut in each threaded hole there so you could get it tightened down and fastened up, and the installation of the handle would be complete. And it's nice and solid. Once you've got those assembly steps completed, the next is to go through the break-in on the compressor. Very simple, 8 steps, so let's walk through them. First, turn off the power switch and make sure the machine is unplugged. Fully open the regulator, and in this case it was counterclockwise to open. Fully open the drain valve on the bottom. This is a 90-degree valve. Plug in the power cord, turn the power switch on. You're going to let this run for 15 minutes and air will escape from the tank because you've opened the valves. Just let it run. Once the 15 minutes has expired, turn off the power switch, unplug the power cord, and close the drain valve. And the break-in is complete. So the last thing you're going to need in order to set up your air compressor for use is a hose of some sort. This is the first time I've had a hose like this. I purchased this Metabo HPT, I guess it's called, 50 foot by 1/4 inch, and this is supposedly a pretty good hose for running air tools and that sort of thing. Now I don't run a lot of air tools. I just bought this air compressor for the garage, just for small jobs like filling up car tires, occasionally maybe a small air tool of some sort, or just blowing out a work area, blowing out dust and that sort of thing. So I don't have a huge demand. I'm also aware that these oilless compressors may not have the longevity of other types of compressors, but my father has had an oilless air compressor for, I don't remember exactly how long. I know it's more than 10 years. With occasional use, I have no doubts that it's going to serve me well. But looking at this hose, it's a professional grade polyurethane air hose. I was going to get a shorter one, but they had a 50-foot one on sale. I got this off of Amazon, and I'll put links for this in case you're interested in the type of hose that I got. They have a couple of different ones, one without fittings and one with fittings. I had some fittings already off of my other air compressor, 1/4-inch fittings that fit on here with just some Teflon tape. This air compressor did come with a quick release fitting on the machine, so all you'll have to do is plug that in. And this 50-foot hose wrapped around the handle pretty nicely, and it's a good place to store it, or that's how I'm going to do it anyway. And then of course I have a tool for my air to air up tires with. And then I also have one of these little nozzles just for spraying off work surfaces or blowing out your garage or something like that. So real handy, real nice. I think it'll work out well for me. I've used it to fill up car tires a couple of times, which is what I mainly will use it for. And it does that with no problems whatsoever. So it'll be interesting to see how this hose works out. Maybe a couple of small air tools, like I'd like to get a brad nailer or something like that and see how that does for small projects. But I appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section. And I'd be happy to hear what your experience has been with these oilless compressors, or maybe even this particular compressor. Again, this was a Harbor Freight MCGRAW 8-gallon oil-free portable air compressor. It's not real big or real heavy duty, but just for your everyday garage type use, I think it'll be just fine. We'll see you guys on the next video.